Alright, Budget Magic time! Playing Mono Red Bird in Legacy. First ever Legacy Budget Magic. And this hand, I wouldn't mind another land, but seems reasonable. Monastery Swiftspear, get in 4-1, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Tropical Island and a Noble Hierarch. Land? Price of Progress. Well, let's just Chain Lightning our opponent, pump up our Swiftspear, and do some attacking. Opponent's down to 14. Unfortunately, we did not draw a second land there. Misty for our opponent. Oh, this is Elves, eh? I did not realize that Elves played Noble Hierarch. Well, our opponent has lots of mana. We could use a land. Land would be sweet. Land? Flame Rift. Not a land. Well, Chain Lightning our opponent's face. And attack with Swiftspear. We really needed to get this Eidolon down to keep our opponent from just comboing off and playing a million things. Maybe that won't happen. We don't know what their hand is, but I feel like it's very possible we die this turn. When if we had Eidolon down, our opponent would probably have to kill that before killing us. I'm still not 100% sure what they're playing. I don't think Noble Hierarch sees playing Elves. That is a weird choice for Elves. Maybe this is a Lurin? I don't know. I do not know what's happening. Opponent gets a Forest. Opponent is down to 8. We're pretty close to killing our opponent, but it's not going to work without some more lands. Sword of... oh, God. Sword of War and Peace is super bad for us, and we can't get empty-handed. Or Sword of War and Peace. Yeah, we're pretty dead here. Because our opponent's going to gain a ton of life and kill our Swiftspear, and we didn't draw a second land. Yeah, opponent goes to 13, we go to 10. Huh. This is quite the brew. No, there's a mountain, but I think it's too little too late, because we can't even block that. We can do 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we actually had our opponent dead this turn, if they didn't have that sword. 3, yeah, we can only do 11, and then our opponent gains so much life that I think we just lose, and we'd have to sack our stuff to do that. So, yeah, let's scoop it up. Whoa! Wow, we were super close to actually pulling that off, but we did not get there. And I still don't know what our opponent's doing. I'm assuming we want Searing Blood in this matchup to kill creatures. And we'll go down maybe the Flame Rifts and possibly some Price of Progress. Price of Progress is pretty hit or miss. It depends on the deck. We can go down Sonic Burst and Skullcrack. Go up our Pyroclasm. We probably got to bring in Smash to Smithereens since we saw the main deck swords. Or sword. Because that just beats us. Maybe it's something like this. Pyroclasms in, creature removal in, couple artifact destruction spells for the swords. Yeah, let's try it like that. I don't know what our opponent's deck is. Whatever it is, it's sort of odd. Alright, we get to play first. Oh, our infamous one-lander. Well, we're going to keep it. Hopefully we rip a land off the top. If we do, it'll be awesome. It seems like we haven't played that many games yet, but it seems like this deck really just wants 2 lands. When we have 2 lands, it's awesome. When we don't, it's pretty sketchy. So, Lava Spike our opponent, pestered. Windswept Heath for our opponent. Cracks it. So if we get a second land and can Searing Blaze our opponent's Mana Dork, then I'm going to feel really good about where we're at. Or play this Eidolon, either one. There's a Birds of Paradise. Land? No, sirree. Well, let's suspend a Rift Bolt, pass the turn. Yeah, we really need... I don't think we can mulligan the one-landers with this deck. I think that's an even surer way to lose. There's Curian Ranger. And Curian Ranger, okay. Well, let's Rift Bolt our opponent's face. Land? No. Well, let's suspend a Rift Bolt, pass the turn. Yeah, we're probably dead here. We're just not drawing lands. 2 seems to be the exact number we want in this deck. Noble Hierarch. Still have no idea what our opponent's deck is. Maybe we're still getting there. Opponent gets in for 2 with the Ranger. And opponent passes. Alright. Ever so slowly, but we're kind of still in this game. Rift Bolt, our opponent's face. Yup, not a land. Man, we even have double Searing Blood. That would be so good. Pass the turn. Problem is that sword. If our opponent finds a sword and gains a chunk of life, then the game's pretty much just over. But I don't know what our opponent has. I'm so confused as to what's going on. Opponent gets in with Curian Ranger. Down to 16. We're not dead yet, apparently. Alright, there's a Stasis. Well, now we have to draw lands. Huh, this deck is very interesting. Rift Bolt our opponent. Swift Spear that we can't cast. We're actually super close to just winning this game. Like, a land away, assuming our opponent doesn't have a counter, which they very well could have Force of Will. But Lightning Bolt plus Flame Blast, or Fire Blast, just wins us the game. So our opponent's got to pay for Stasis, so I can keep this Stasis alive for a long time. Forever. There's a Forest. There's Exploration. Huh. Interesting Stasis deck. Opponent gets in for 2. Down to 14. Untaps. Replays the forest thanks to Exploration. Well, there's a mountain. Alright, play the mountain. Pass the turn. In theory, this gives us a path to victory. The problem is counter spells. Scrib Ranger. Well, do we just go for it? Yeah, I think so. Let's Lightning Bolt our opponent's face. And then try to Fire Blast. What do you got, opponent? Whoa! Wow, we got there! Holy! Okay, whoa! Well, you see the explosiveness of Legacy Burn thanks to Fire Blast. We were stuck on one land that entire game, got locked under Stasis, and finally was able to Fire Blast for the win. I don't know if Stasis is even that scary for us. We definitely want to kill creatures. We could bring in Red Elemental Blast as a way to deal with Stasis in specific. Maybe we should. It doesn't do much else, though. Maybe go one smash, one blast, and try it like that. Opponent's on the play this game. Ooh, alright, I like this hand. I like this hand a lot. Sulfuric Vortex gets around all the Stasis stuff. We have a creature removal spell. Biggest question is it correct to just Chain Lightning this Noble Hierarch? And it might be. Man, you normally want to go face, but I think that in this scenario, we're better off killing Hierarch, because Sulfuric Vortex is so good if we get to it. We also have Eidolon, and we have another creature removal spell for our opponent's next mana dork. Alright, there's a Misty. And opponent passes. Well, I think we're just going to get Eidolon down. Does our opponent have a counter? Opponent probably can't let this resolve if they can stop it. Alright, just a Scrib Ranger. That's fine. Pass the turn. So that works with the Stasis lock. Stasis right here would get us pretty good. There's a Misty. I guess Stasis doesn't get us right here because they don't have a mana dork to untap. It would be a temporary Stasis. But our opponent should start taking damage from this Eidolon. Essentially, every spell they cast will be 2 damage. Alright, opponent has Gaddock Teeg. Yep, takes a couple damage. Opponent gets in. 4-1 with the Ranger. Now, land here would actually be pretty sweet. Rift Bolt. Let's just Searing Blood Gaddock Teeg. Take some damage. Kill Gaddock Teeg. Opponent takes 3 from that. Then we can get in with our Eidolon. So opponent's down to 12. And it's a virtual 8 thanks to this Fire Blast. We're actually pretty close to just winning in like 2 turns, even if we don't draw land. And hopefully this Eidolon should be very good. What's our opponent have here? Green Sun Zenith, X1. So searching out a Dryad Arbor. Yup. 2 cards in hand for our opponent. Gets in, 4-1. Down to 16. We draw a Swift Spear. Well, let's play a Swift Spear. Play a Swift Spear. And just attack with everything. Do we go for the win here is the big question. Assuming our opponent doesn't block, Fire Blast would represent lethal with the double Swift Spear pump. Thing is... oh, man. So risky. I guess we don't really have to, because if our opponent plays anything, that will hit them for 2 anyway, so we can always make the same decision later. Sacking all of our lands is just so painful, even though our hand is kind of sketchy because these Rift Bolts are going to take a turn to come down. Opponent goes Enlightened Tutor. What are they tutoring up? Is it the Stasis? Just Desperation Stasis? Sword of War and Peace. Okay. I don't even know if our opponent can resolve this, though. Because they're going to have to crack their fetches to equip it up, I think? So I think we might just have this. Alright, picks up a land, untaps Scrib Ranger. I guess they can untap the Dryad Arbor. Cracks Misty, down to 3. Cracks Windswept Teeth. Now our opponent can't play their sword unless they can kill Eidolon. And I don't know how they kill Eidolon. And that does it! I think. Yeah, our opponent was locked behind their fetches. Whoo! Another win for Budget Mono Red Bird in Legacy. Eidolon doing some serious work there. Oh, man. Wow, sweet.